Tonight, we're learning new details about the death of a CU Boulder student whose disappearance made headlines earlier this year. In February, 18-year-old Megan Trussell was found dead along Boulder Canyon Drive. She had been reported missing days earlier, last seen on surveillance video, leaving her dorm. Now, after months of investigation, the Boulder County Sheriff's Office and coroner says her death was a suicide. Trussell's mother and father are adamant that the investigation into Megan's death was flawed. They don't believe their daughter took her own life.
Vanessa Diaz and Joe Trussell say the sheriff's office seemed determined that this was a suicide from the beginning, and they haven't done a whole lot to rule other things out. They sat down exclusively this afternoon with 9 News reporter Steve Staker.
Alex, Vanessa Diaz and Joe Trussell accused the sheriff's office of rushing to a conclusion and not being curious beyond that conclusion. The parents say that they have yet to see convincing proof that Megan intended to hurt herself back in February. What they have seen is evidence that something strange happened. Some of that evidence uncovered by grieving family rather than detective work.
It seemed like kind of a rush to judgment that this is a suicide, and any investigation that takes place is only going to be to bolster that opinion.
Joe Trussell and Vanessa Diaz say their meeting with investigators in the Boulder County coroner Tuesday morning came as no surprise. The coroner was ruling their 18-year-old daughter's death a suicide. The autopsy ruled CU freshman Megan Trussell died as the result of toxic effects of amphetamines and hypothermia from exposure to cold temperatures, where she was found near a culvert in Boulder Canyon, noting the autopsy found the presence of undigested prescription medication in her system.
There's too much outstanding evidence, too many strings attached, too many things that don't add up with her behavior, with her history, with where she was found.
For months, Megan's parents have been pressing investigators to dig deeper and consider other factors, like the fact they say Megan was missing a shoe that's never been found.
From what they saw, it doesn't look like she walked without her shoe on. So where's the shoe?
Diaz says for weeks, detectives told her they suspected Megan's phone was lost in a crevice in the canyon. But Diaz says her friend did her own investigating that ended with the family finding the phone before investigators.
She would talk to people in the non-house community there, and she was asking, if you had a phone, what would you do with it? And finally someone told her, oh, we'd sell it at the Eco ATM, and I filed a claim. I think that was on March 15th. March 17th, I got an email from Eco ATM saying they had the phone.
On Tuesday, the parents say they were also told the autopsy revealed Megan had bruising on the back of her head and chipped teeth, though they said those injuries didn't contribute to her death.
To me, that's more evidence of a struggle.
We felt like they had an agenda, they had an objective, and they were going to meet that objective no matter what.
Now they plan to have someone take a second look at the autopsy and perhaps hire their own investigator to give Megan's case a second look.
This is a long game for us. We're not going to stop. Eventually we will get answers, no matter how long it takes. We're in it for good.
The Boulder County Sheriff's Office did say they arrested the man who sold Trussell's phone at that Eco ATM on misdemeanor theft and false declaration to a pawnbroker charges, though they say that man, who was homeless, told police that he got it from another homeless man. Megan's missing purse was found in early March along the US 36 bike path, far away from where her body was found in the canyon. Police say that they were able to trace how it got there and say neither of the individuals who had the purse or the phone are believed to have had direct contact with Trussell. Live in studio, Steve Staker, 9 News.
Wow, so many questions about the phone, but I'm curious if the family does get their own investigator, like what can they do beyond that?
You know, they could take more evidence to the police is what their hope would be, and like potentially reopen an investigation. They just have unanswered questions. And, you know, I asked them today, is this trying to get beyond, you know, your daughter in the suicide here? And they said, you know, the grieving process is separate from this. They need resolution, and they have a lot of unanswered questions. They just haven't seen the proof that there was suicide here. They want something more concrete than that.
Yeah, the way some things were found, certainly, you know, it's, well, our hearts go out to them in their grief no matter what. Thank you, Steve.